Hey Heights Church, Pastor Justin here. I am continuing in the thread, He is. I get to talk to you about my favorite subject about Jesus. But before I do that, I want to tell you a quick story. I was actually a pretty gullible kid growing up. In fact, if you walked up to me and said, "You got something on your shirt," I would always look down. And it happened all the time. In fact, my sisters were notoriously mess with me. And there was a natural consequence of that. And the consequence was I actually became really skeptical. Little did I know, but that actually set me on a path and a trajectory of where I am in ministry, which is I am studying Christian apologetics. If you don't know what apologetics is, it is a legal term, a Greek word. It comes from the Greek word apologia, which means to make a defense. And I love it because today I get to talk about my favorite subject, which is the resurrection of Jesus. I'm not going to go into it much, but I'm going to talk about the claim that it comes from the book of John, chapter 11. And I want to just read it to you, and I want to tell you why it's significant to me. And it's about Lazarus, and it's an interaction between Martha and Jesus. And let me just read it really quick. Now, Jesus came. He found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, and many of the Jews had come to Mary and Martha to console them concerning their brother. So when Mary heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him. But Mary remained seated in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give it to you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God who is to come into this world." The reason why I love this passage is really I love the story of the resurrection itself. In 1 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul hangs, just like by a thread, all of our Christian walk on the resurrection. He basically says, if the resurrection didn't happen, our faith is pointless. If Jesus didn't really rise from the dead, this statement that he just made about being the resurrection and the life, it's nonsense. But he did. And the reason why I love the resurrection so much is a couple reasons, really. One is it's anchored in history. We can go back to that moment and we can look at it, we can research it, we can read about it, not just in the Bible, but outside of the Bible. In fact, there are non-Christian, pagan, anti-Christian sources that describe what early Christians believed about Jesus and the resurrection. And what that does is it anchors my confidence in this statement. It implies this, and it leans into this, that we have a future hope, that even though our bodies may die here and now, or even though we may lose someone who believes in Jesus here and now, they are in life. They've risen and in this life with him. And there's going to come a day when we're going to get a new body connected to him. And it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be amazing because he is that truth. He is the resurrection and the life. And I got to tell you, that blows my mind. My encouragement today is this, is that I want you to think about the resurrection. Not just his, but ours. See, we're promised a resurrection with him in the future. And when you think about heaven, a lot of times the world wants to tell us, oh, white puffy clouds, harps, heaven's going to be boring. Nonsense. When you read the Apostle John's description of what the new heaven and the new earth look like, the new Jerusalem in the book of Revelations, he's grasping for words. In fact, he uses phrases like, it's like emerald, it's like sardis. And so he's comparing the two because it's so different and yet it's sort of like. So he's trying to explain it in a way that we can grasp it with our minds, but it's still unattainable with words, at least the words that he's using. So that's my encouragement today. Sit and meditate on the resurrection and the life, because you have life here and now because of him. Thanks so much for joining me today. God bless you. We'll see you next time.